Welcome to Relationship Real Talk with your hosts, Mary
and Julius. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year to you. I'm still wanting the Christmas season to continue. You can see I'm wearing red. I'm still in the spirit of Christmas. But whatever you did, hope you had a wonderful, wonderful time. It's our first time back in the studio, and It's wonderful to have you join us today. If you have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button now. Like and share the video as well, because you are going to be blessed by what we're going to be talking about today. So we asked the question, do you make New Year resolutions? I find I stopped making New Year resolutions a long time ago.
Same here.
Okay, so I'm curious, why did you stop?
New Year resolutions come from a good place. You know, you want to do better.
Yes.
You know, you want to do better in the new year, and so you make all these promises to yourself. Some of them realistic, some of them unrealistic. Maybe I've been able to keep one or two of the realistic ones, and then the unrealistic ones just fall by the wayside. But the problem with falling by the wayside is you kind of label yourself as incompetent or not enough when you realize that one or two of your resolutions have not been fulfilled. So I set goals.
No, absolutely. I think the thing with New Year resolutions, like you said, they're fantastic. It comes from a great place. But what I realize is when you're making a New Year resolution, often it's because you want to start doing something you have not been doing in the past, or you want to stop doing something you've been doing. So that takes discipline. And discipline muscles don't get built overnight.
No.
You don't do that over one day or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And so what happens for most people is they tell themselves, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to stop doing this. And then they try for a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month. And inevitably, you are going to miss the mark. You're going to fail. You're going to do what you said you were not going to do, or you're going to not do what you said you were going to do. And for most people, because they tie it to New Year, they feel like, well, I've broken my New Year resolution. What's the point in continuing? You feel like you've broken your promise, and it's no longer the new year. You're now maybe 2 months into the new year. So what's the point? It was a New Year's resolution, and I've broken it. So I think when we tie it to the new year, immediately we set ourselves up for failure, because you're not going to keep it all the time. So like you, I decided I make new day resolutions.
Awesome.
New day resolutions. Every day I'm thinking about what I want to accomplish, the things I want to change, the goals I'm setting, the vision I have for my life. And every day I'm deciding, what am I going to do today to move me forward? So that works much better for me. But today we want to talk about, I suppose you could call it relationship resolution. Do you make relationship resolutions? If not, we would encourage you to do that. And we want to talk about maybe one relationship resolution that you could start with this year.
Absolutely. And that one relationship resolution that we highly recommend is grace. You know, the grace to start afresh. It's a new year.
And that's good. That's good. I think that's really good, because if you give yourself grace to start afresh, then you don't have to wait till the new year to start afresh.
Exactly. You know, grace to start afresh, and grace given to the other party. You know, especially say in a marital relationship. It's a new year, it's a new slate, it's a new page, it's a new opportunity.
So just to be clear, we're not talking about setting a New Year's resolution to offer each other grace. We're saying make a relationship resolution. So this is a resolution that sticks with you day after day after day, month after month, year after year. But it's a great one to introduce as we start a new year, because it's talking about fresh starts. What is grace? How would you define grace?
Grace is an undeserved or unmerited favor. It's almost like a gift that you give to someone who doesn't deserve it. You know, so we could be graceful to ourselves, and we could be graceful to other people. In fact, we should be graceful to ourselves and graceful to other people, because if you don't give yourself grace, you'll be too hard on yourself. And if you don't give grace to other people, you will not have great relationship, because we are all We are all
work in
imperfect.
progress.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it's giving patience rather than expecting perfection, because
Yeah.
none of us are perfect.
Yeah.
So it's giving your partner, your sibling, whoever you're in relationship with, the permission to be human.
Yeah.
The permission to be human. I heard somebody say this once. Pencils have erasers for a reason, because we always make mistakes.
Yeah.
So you have that eraser to rub it off and start again.
Yeah.
So give each other the permission to erase and
Yeah.
start again. None of us are perfect. Absolutely right. And when you start to think about how you offer grace, what could that look like in a relationship?
Yeah. So last year, for example, you both know what areas you struggled in. Maybe you hurt each other. Maybe you let yourselves down. Maybe there were angry moments, and it's difficult to let go of those emotions. But to go forward, when the two of you are determined to make this work, you're gonna have to let it go. So being graceful is letting go of the past. Leave the past in the past, and be quick to forgive when they hurt you, not if they hurt you, because you're going to hurt each other.
Yeah. I mean, something that I do, I practice reflection all the time, and I think it's such a great practice to have, to reflect, to think about what you did, how you did it, what you could have done differently, what you said, how you could have said it differently. Just reflecting. I do that a lot. And I highly recommend reflection every day, at the end of the day, to just cast your mind back on maybe interactions you had with work colleagues, with your boss, with your spouse, with your siblings, with your children, relationships that you have. Just cast your mind back to interactions you had that day and ask yourself, is that the best way I could have responded in that moment? Is there something I could have said differently? Is there a different way I could have said the right thing? Because it's one thing to say the right thing, it's another thing to say the right thing in the right way. So just asking yourselves those questions, it gives you the opportunity to change and to make a difference. I can't remember who said this quote, but it's one I love so much. He says, without reflection, we continue blindly on our way. Because it's the reflection that makes those experiences we have, that turns them into insights. We all have experiences every day, but if we never sit down to reflect, to think, to pause, we will never gain insights from those experiences. So I would say practicing reflection is really important, but not just practicing reflection at the end of the day, just generally being in the moment. I find that's something I do more and more, and it helps me to take charge of my emotions. So when something is happening, I'm in the moment, and I'm deciding intentionally how I'm going to show up in that moment, how I'm going to respond in that moment, what I'm going to say in that moment. So being in charge, and anybody who knows me knows I don't mind being in charge, like putting it mildly. But being in charge of yourself in the moment is so powerful. And being able to control your emotions, so you don't just go with the flow. I think that will really help you extend grace, because then you live more intentionally and you respond rather than react.
It could be patience, for example. You're going to be more patient with the other person. You're going to be more patient with yourself, because self-love is critical to loving other people. The scripture says we should love others as we love ourselves. If you don't love yourselves, it's going to be difficult to love other people. So if you are patient with yourself, you will be patient with the other person. If you listen to yourself, because there are times in our lives that we don't even listen to our own heart, because we are so busy. We are so busy that we don't have time to think. So if you make a resolution this year, I'm going to listen to my partner. I'm going to listen to my wife. I'm not just going to be quiet while they speak. No, I will be in the moment, listening to what they are saying, not just hearing what is said, but listening to what is unsaid.
No, absolutely. I mean, how about you? Do you have any relationship resolutions that you're going to adopt this year? Let us know. We would love to hear it, because we might choose to adopt it for ourselves. And if you have a question on anything we've said so far, please put it in the comments. We want to hear from you. And if you have not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, subscribe, like, and share the video as well. Now, I think patience is a big one.
Yeah.
For me personally, and I've said this to you several times, when you're impatient with me, it really, really upsets me, because it tells me I don't have time for you. Right?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's how I interpret it, because if you're being impatient with someone, it's because you feel like you're wasting my time right now. I don't have time to explain it. I don't have time to, whatever it is. Impatience is a display of a lack of time
or interest.
Yeah. And in that moment you're not being gracious. So I think practicing patience is a really good one. I remember I started to practice this in church. We were doing this series on, I can't remember if it was love. I think it was love. And the Bible says love is patience. Isn't that interesting? That the very first word the Bible uses to describe true love is patience. Love is patience. And I've mentioned this to you before. I came to you and I wanted you to put my bracelet on. And it was taking forever. Well, I thought it was taking forever. And I was sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, it's just a bracelet. Just put it on already. But then I spoke to myself. First of all, I caught myself. That's
what I mean by listening to yourself, being in charge of yourself,
being present in the moment, being aware of what you're doing, how you're responding, and being in charge of that is so powerful. Honestly, if you want to control anything, controlling yourself is the most powerful thing you could ever do. Yeah. And so I caught myself, and I'm like, okay, number one, he was doing something and you came to ask him for his help.
You interrupted him.
You interrupted him, and he was gracious enough to leave what he was doing to help you. Now you're being impatient because you feel he's not doing it fast enough. So just by talking to myself in that way, I calmed down and just waited for him to finish putting on the bracelet. Instead of me getting annoyed and even thinking, okay, I'll just do it myself because you're taking so long. So just being in the moment really, really helps. And practicing patience is important. But the other tip I would suggest is being curious rather than judgmental. Because very often we're quick to judge. We're quick to make conclusions. Yeah. You said this, so you must be this. You did this, so you must be this way. But rather than judging and being quick to label, how about being curious and asking questions? Help me understand what you meant. When you did this, what was it you were really trying to achieve? Instead of me assuming and then judging on the basis of my assumption, which very often will be wrong, just get curious and ask questions so you get clarification.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is we all assume. There are times I'm driving, and there is a car or a vehicle in front of me, and it's driving so slow, and I'm like, what is the matter with you? Step on this thing, let us go. And then a few seconds later, it's speeding up, and then you realize there was a slower car in front of it. So what you were saying there basically is seeking to understand as opposed to being understood. So you're desired, or you're making a resolution to listen. Linking it to what we were saying earlier, to listen intentionally so that you can understand what has been communicated to you. And if we all can do that, these things, they're easier said than done. The only way you're going to do it, and do it more often than not, is when you are intentional about it. It's not a wishful thinking. It's a self-mastery intentionality.
And growth is a lifelong process, which is why I don't advocate New Year resolution, because it's a process. It doesn't happen instantaneously. So what we're encouraging you to do is, yes, it's the start of a new year, and we're not saying the start of a new year is not a great time to want to start something fresh. It's a fantastic time to want to start something fresh, but don't tie it to New Year. Make it a lifelong thing. So practicing a relationship resolution. Make it a lifelong thing. You pick one resolution.
Yeah.
Think about maybe last year, areas that maybe you struggled in your relationship. What areas would you like to improve on? What change would you like to see?
Yeah.
And make a resolution in that area and then start to work on it.
Yeah.
But don't give yourself a timeline to say
Yeah.
it's a New Year's
Exactly.
resolution. Work on it until you see change, and then you're encouraged because
Yeah.
you've developed those discipline muscles that is transferable. Next time you want to work on something else, it's easier because you've already developed that muscle
Yeah.
that will help you keep that resolution.
Yeah.
So we really hope this has helped you. But if you have something that you would like to add to what we've said, if maybe you make new resolutions and it works for you and you have a tip to share with us as to why it works for you, we want to hear
Absolutely.
from you. But to end this episode, we want to look at some resolutions. And you can help us decide whether you think they should be kept or whether they should be tossed. Okay, so we're going to look at some maybe common resolutions that people make. Are they realistic or unrealistic? Should we keep or should we toss them? Okay, and play along with us. Put your comments in the chat or your answers in the comments as we say them out before we tell you what we think.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with the first one. So this is a New Year's resolution, a New Year's relationship resolution, and it says we'll never argue in 2026. Is that a keep or a toss? What do you say? What do you say?
We'll never argue.
In 2026 as a New Year's resolution? Do you keep that or do you toss it?
I think you should keep it.
Really? Why do you say that?
Because, do you want to argue?
You don't want to argue, that's true. But is that realistic that you're not going to argue in 2026? I would say toss that because it's not a realistic resolution. So you set yourself up for failure already, and then you get disappointed, you get disillusioned, and you think, oh, I'm never going to bother trying anymore because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So for me, I would say toss. But what do you say? Julia said keep. I say toss. What do you say? Let us know.
Okay, I've got another one.
Okay.
Maybe similar. I will not upset my partner this year.
I would say toss that.
Exactly.
I would say toss that as a resolution.
Because it's just not realistic.
Yeah.
You will upset each other.
You will. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got one more.
I think I've got one more.
Okay, I'll go first. We will have a date night every week.
Yeah, that's...
What do you say? Give us your answer. Okay, you can go.
I think that's doable because there is a bit of reasonability in the spacing of it. Is it?
All right, so keep or toss?
Yeah, keep.
Keep. Okay, I agree with you on that one.
Yes.
So we agree on one.
Yeah.
Our engineer is shaking his head. You don't think it's real? Well, okay, so there you go. It depends on the couples.
Yeah, it depends on the couples.
It depends on the couples. I mean, we absolutely say a date night once a week is doable, and it's a resolution that we should keep.
Yes.
But our behind the scenes cameraman here is shaking his head like, nope, that's not doable for me. So how about you? Is it doable for you or not? But go on.
My next one is for your birthday, I'm gonna give you an unlimited check of an amount of money to spend.
I say keep that one. Absolutely. Why would you not keep that as a resolution?
Exactly.
Absolutely keep it.
Keep it.
Absolutely keep it.
Indeed.
Well, it's been great being back in the studio for our first recording this year, and we hope you've gotten some value from it. But we would love to hear from you. Let us know what you think about New Year's resolutions or just making resolutions daily that moves you further towards your goal. Let us know. But until next time,
it's been Julius and Mary,
your relationship real talk hosts. On this show we talk all things relationship, always keeping it real. See you next time.
See ya.